The Conservation, please let's welcome Mr. Gboluwaga Olaomo. Why you your circular economy aspect? Let's think about why you come. Let's think about why you come.
How's it been so far? Before I begin the slides, ready? Everybody, what have you learned? Have you learned any new thing? What has changed about you in this summit, this conference, this thing? Anybody?
My name is Ola-Olowoyo. I'm from Bashama School. The only thing I know is that whatever my goal is, it must be a solution to my country.
Okay, can we a solution to your country, and it's one of the investments I believe this organization is trying to make in you to ensure that by the time you are leaving this place, you are living equipped, you are living empowered, and you know what to do to bring a solution to the many problems that we have in this country. Let's be gender balance. We talked about sustainable development goals. Goal 5 is what? Gender equality. So if a lady has spoken, who next should talk now? The guy. Alright.
Basically, I learned about the SDG and the problems that they are meant to solve and how to go about it. Thank you.
Okay, can we? Can you tell us again what did you?
I'm Philip Stedman from Bakende High School.
Alright. Once again, put your hands together for yourself, everyone. Can you appreciate your teachers, your staff and families? It's a big investment. You know, it's midterm today, right? They should be at home resting, they should be at home enjoying the holidays. They've worked all time. Can you please stand up and appreciate your teachers? Thank you, sir. Thank you for the appreciation the investment at the level of those people. It's a great game in no distant time. Thank you. Please keep doing what you do. And our future is bright. We'll make you proud. Thank you. Please sit down. My name is Gboluwaga Olaomo, and many years ago, so in secondary school, which I can start with my story. I went to my school in Ibadan. I was born in Ibadan. I grew up in Ibadan. I've been in Ibadan pretty much all of my life, from primary up on to university, postgraduate, and all. So I went to Ola-Olowoyo primary school. I don't know if the school still rings or. I didn't even know the school is in existence now. And from there I moved to Stars Comprehensive, and then I left for Wesley College of Science, in local Ibadan. I think that's about the only school I'm proud of from all of the schools I went to before going to the university, and then I went to the first and the best. It's still the best, and it will remain the best university in Nigeria. Okay, thank you. And maybe there was really no such opportunities that you guys are having now to invest in one's life while I was in secondary school. If there was, I'm not sure. Yeah, we go out for competitions, we go out for debates, but for expository sessions like this, I'm really not sure that we have much of this exposure. So I want you to consider a great opportunity, and out of the many students you have in your school, you've been selected. Isn't that proud? Isn't that proud? So celebrate yourself for that. So I want you to make the best of this opportunity. Now, I've been asked to talk about waste and circular economy, and this is linked to the concept that we introduced, sustainable development goals. Can you tell me the goals that is linked to waste out of the 17? development goals that you've been introduced to, which of them is linked to waste? Okay. If you want to answer, raise your hand and let's talk about it. Okay. Can you read it out? Okay, it's part of it. Can you put our hands together for her? Yeah. Okay, climate action and waste, yes, it's linked, but not at the foundation level like this. Like the way it's actually linked, but not at the peripheral, not at the surface. Do you get it? Okay? Yeah, clean water and sanitation. I was waiting for that. Can you put your heads together for her? So, Mr. Emmanuel already shared that the goals, all of the 17 goals are interconnected, and you cannot remove one and leave the other. They are all together. If you want to achieve goal 1, you need to also put into consideration goal 2, put into consideration goal 3, put all of the 17 goals into consideration for you to even achieve one. And perhaps, the most important to me is partnership, because everyone has to come together to be able to achieve the goals. Now, so many things have changed about our world. Like, there's climate change, there's poverty, there's sickness, there's pandemic that has brought us a new normal. So many things. And I'm going to show you a clip that highlights or explains how we have been from generation past up until where we are now. Let's see.
Fun fact, planet Earth is 4.5 billion years old. Mankind, about 100.
I need to start from the beginning.
That's one full day that we've been here on this planet for, drum roll please, 3 seconds. 3 seconds. And look what we've done. We have modestly named ourselves Homo sapiens, meaning wise man. But is man really so wise? Smart, yes, it is good to be smart, but not too smart for your own good. Yes, we have stood the animal. Yes, we build clever machines that navigate the universe in search of new homes, but at the same time, those atoms we split created nuclear warfare. In our quest to explode the galaxy, rejects and neglects the home that we have here now, so no, that cannot be wisdom. Wisdom is different. While intelligence speaks, wisdom listens, and we willingly covered our ears to Mother Nature's screams and closed our eyes to all of her help-wanted signs. Wisdom knows that every action has an equal and opposite reaction, so if otherwise, we would not be shocked when we see storms that are stronger than ever before, or more drought, hurricanes, and wildfire than ever before, because there's more pollution than ever before, more carbon, more trees cut down than ever before. At a record pace, we've increased the extinction of animals by 1,000 times the normal rate. What a feat! In the next 10 to 100 years, every beloved animal character in every children's book is predicted to go extinct. Lions gone, rhinos gone, tiger, gorilla, elephant, polar bear gone. In 3 seconds. Species that have been here longer than us will be gone because of us. In this 3 seconds. In an existence shorter than a Vine video, we turn the circle of life into our own personal conveyor belt. Somebody, anybody help. We were given so much. The only planet in this solar system with life. I mean, we are 1 in a million. No, actually, scientifically, we are 1 in a billion, trillion. That's a 1 followed by 33 zeros. And I don't want to get too spiritual, but how are we not a miracle? We are perfectly positioned to the sun, so we don't burn. But not too distant, so we don't turn to ice. Goldilocks said it best. We are just this paradise, where we are given medicine from trees, not coincidentally, but because like the song says, we are family. Literally, everything, every
Okay, thank you.
Fun fact, planet Earth is 4.5 billion years old. Mankind, about 100.
Yes. So, what are your lessons from what you just watched? You can pick from it. It's going to be quite interactive, so prepare to talk. Just saw a video 3-4 minutes long, and I don't know, it was quite captivating. So tell us, what did you think?
The video I learned about disasters
Okay.
that affect nations.
Okay. You learned about disasters.
My name is Favor. I learned we should always be thankful and careful about what God gives us.
Okay.
And Phillips, I learned about how humanity has affected the world climate and we should be careful about it.
My name is Sisters. I learned how destruction of I learned how human activities on this planet destroy natural resources.
And you also see that according to the analysis of the guy, human have only occupied the world for just 3 seconds. And if in 3 seconds you've done so much damage to the world, what is going to continue? What will be the fate of the world? Who will continue the way we've been living our life? And what is responsible for some of the damages? So many things. I'm going to touch on some and then we focus on the thing which I will have to come and talk on. Degradation, deforestation. How many of you? Okay, I think classes, deforestation, cutting down on trees. Urbanization. Because people need to move from the rural environment to the urban environment, we need to cut down trees, we need to destroy the forest so that people will inhabit, so that people will come and live. And then we also have population growth. People marry, they give birth to children, and the people they give birth to also marry and give birth to children, and the people they give birth to also need to occupy spaces. So there is shrink or there is shortage of, not shortage, but they are taking over the natural resources that have been protecting our world. They are destroying the things that God has set in place to help our world. And so, there is need for us to start thinking of what we can do to address all of this. Most importantly is the waste that we generate. And that is what I'm here to talk about. The waste we generate. If you move around, if you look around you, where you live, where your school is, where you worship, where you go to visit friends, the market, can you really never see waste? Is it possible not to see waste at all? I'm sure you must have even contributed to the waste that we have in Ibadan today, because you must have eaten, you must have gotten biscuits or cheese or something. So waste is a major problem and it is destroying our world in some ways. Hello? So, if we recognize or if we establish that waste is destroying our world, what are the things we can do to either manage or compensate the waste? There are some things, there are some waste practices, waste management practices, that we can adopt, that we can put into use to reduce the amount of waste we generate, and by extension to help protect our world, by extension to help get our world to get better. One is to reduce our waste, right? Reduce the waste that we use. I'm still going to touch on reduce in my next slide, in subsequent slide, but we can reduce our waste. Another thing we can do is to rot the waste. By rotting, I mean burying the waste. Of course, it is not an advisable way of managing waste, but it's one of the ways we can use to manage waste. Other thing we can do is what? recycle waste. And okay, I'm still going to touch on recycle. Another thing we can do is to what? Reuse waste. We can also refuse waste. If somebody is giving you something and you consider it a waste, you can say, please hold it, I don't need it. You can refuse it. Then we can repurpose waste. Repurpose and reuse are quite similar, but just a bit of little differences. And then we can also rethink what you do about waste, you know. So, all of these 7 practices, if you count them, you see that there are 7 practices. They are the ways in which you can manage our waste. I also want to talk about circular economy. I want to link it up. In achieving sustainable development goals, in achieving the 17 goals that you've been introduced to earlier, and also in ensuring that the disaster that we saw in the video does not continue at the rate at which it is going. There is need for us to look at how we can practice circular economy. And in circular economy, the concept is simple, very, very simple. Whatever I consider waste, I transfer to someone else to use as a raw material or to use as a resource for producing what's in it. Now, we say economy. Economy has to do with what? Economic student. Economy, when we say economy, we talk about production, we talk about finances, we talk about money, we talk about distribution, right? Also producing the exercise, what are they? What counts entries that I feel I don't need? They are wastes to me, right? But as they are wastes to me, I can transfer them to someone else who needs those wastes. Instead of destroying it, instead of burning it, instead of discarding it, I can transfer it to someone that can use it as a raw material in his own industry. Example of who can use waste paper in his own industry as a raw material. Anybody? Can you give me another applause? So the waste from my own company, what I don't need, what I should naturally discard, what I should naturally trade away, I don't trade away. I use it. Not that I use it. I transfer it to someone else who needs it as a raw material in his own industry. Do you get the concept? So it is circular. It is moving from. I didn't really focus on circular economy because I want us to touch more on ways that we can easily relate with. But we should understand the concept of circular economy even right from now, because I believe we'll grow into industry leaders, experts, and major producers in the near future. We should have that concept in our mind. Circular economy is one of the ways that we need to move, or we need one of the methods or process we need to adopt to sustain our world, to avert the destruction and the devastation that we, human beings, are causing to the world. I want us to also understand that whatever it is we are seeing now, poverty, erosion, climate change, human beings are the ones responsible, not the animals. It is we, human beings. We are the ones cutting down trees. We are the ones killing animals, we are the ones releasing waste, we are the ones releasing carbon emission. So whatever it is we are facing now, human beings are the sole people to hold responsible. Now, having talked about the major broad practices of waste management, I'd like to talk about these 3, or focus on these 3. And the first is that you reduce your waste. You reduce your waste. The second is recycle, and then the third is reuse. Now, so by reducing, how do I mean? You need to purchase less. Take for instance, instead of buying bottled water at every given point in time, why not have a bottle that you can put your water? By having your own bottle, you reduce the number of waste bottle that you use to litter or to litter the environment, literally. Do you quite get? Again, instead of going to the market, buying a nylon bag or buying a sack, why not have a permanent bag that you use to go shopping? For instance, you go to the supermarket, you go to the say you go to the food here, you bought bread. You put the bread in a nylon that you might not even use afterwards, and then you put it in another nylon for you. That is duplication. That is releasing waste that you really you don't need. So instead of doing that, why not have your own bag, shopping bag, that you go to market with, that you go around with, and then if you so need to go to the market, you go with that instead of getting another nylon or another blue bag from the market. So a way of managing waste is to reduce the number of waste that you use. And then I also need to touch on doing things in an excess. Whatever food you cannot finish, why do you need to take it? Whatever it is you don't need, why do you need to buy it? You know, all of these come together into ensuring that we give our waste proper management. And then we also look for alternatives, options as to how you can manage your waste, as to how you can reduce your waste. I gave you an example of instead of going to the market with poly bag or trying to buy another poly bag or waiting on your seller to give you nylon that you won't need, why not go with one big bag and then do your own shopping with it? But unfortunately, in this part of the world, even if you buy something as little as matches, like a box of match, you still want them to give you nylon. What do you do with that nylon? Nothing other than to just generate waste with it. And again, you need to buy quality stuff. The quality of what you buy determines the longevity of that thing. For instance, if you buy a kid clothes, you can expect that in 2-3 months you will need to discard that clothes. What happens to the clothes? It becomes a waste. In actual fact, it becomes a waste, but to you it's becoming a waste because it is actually substandard. But if you invest money in buying something that is quality enough, over a long period of time you can use it, and like that you are reducing the amount of waste that you generate into the environment. The second is what? Recycle. And recycle is about a product or a substance that you are not using again. You release it to be processed to become that other thing again. You understand what I'm trying to say? If you buy a bottle of water or a pet drink, you see somewhere and please recycle, right? Do you have a bottle or something that we can use? You say please recycle somewhere. Yes, dispose and then recycle. That arrow thing is recycle. It's because they want to reduce, they are trying to help us reduce the waste we generate. If we recycle that bottle, they make it into another bottle. Of course, that's go through a lot of processes. That's going through a lot of cleaning and cutting and shredding and then reholding to be able to get that bottle back. But you can be sure that it's not going to be a waste that will litter the environment if we put that into consideration, if we try to recycle it. The other explanation is for reuse. So the things that you feel you are not needing again, you are not using again in your home can also be reused. For instance, these are rain boots that the owner feels he doesn't need them again. He has what now? He has turned it into flower pots. And then you see that it's beautifying that place. And then I was also impressed with that image. That was Who's that by the way? And if you look closely, you see that it is made from naturally made from stuff that should be waste, because that's the cover of bottle, plastic bottles, plastic spoons, tubes and plastic majorly, things that you should naturally discard and then should constitute waste in the environment, in your homes. See that when you reduce to form that lovely image. And you can see a lot of fantastic stuff that people are doing with what should naturally be waste, what should naturally be considered waste. People are reusing it, they are repurposing it to substantial, to make brilliant stuff like that. Let's put our hands together for that picture of that. I'm not sure you can have him to discuss the concept and how he was able to, that will be later, and he was able to come up with that, but it's a fantastic stuff. Now, having discussed these three concepts, reduce, there is need for you to reduce the amount of waste that you generate. It's very, very important. There's need for you to reduce it. There's need for you to recycle it. Think of recycling. It is unfortunate that a lot of these things we are talking about here in Nigeria are not the things that are obtainable in senior clients. Mr. Manuel was mentioning Kenya, I was mentioning Rwanda, and how they've been able to put their waste into good use. Not that they put the waste into good use, but they've been able to manage their waste. They've been able to create a system that supports recycling. They've been able to create a system that supports reusing. And then in some instances, in some countries, they've been able to put policies in place that ban the use of poly bags, nylon bags. Some countries don't use nylon bags at all because they understand the effects, the impact that these nylons have on the environment. So they don't use nylon bag at all. In fact, nylon plastic bags, they are terrible stuff. We need to be sincere with ourselves. If you look at the aftermath, the future impact that they are having, it might not be immediate. That's just the unfortunate thing. It might not be immediate, but in the long run, they are going to cause damage, devastation. The thing we saw in that first video, they are going to cause a lot of that. And we need to act. We need to do our own part. We need to do the little we can do to ensure that the future is not totally destroyed. You understand what I've just explained? So now, what do you do? What can you do? I'm going to show you a short video now of some young guys in Indonesia. Do you know Indonesia? It's also a similar country as Nigeria.
Decided to do something about it. And we've been working for almost 3 years now to try to say no to plastic bags on our own island. And we've had some significant successes. We are sisters, and we go to the best school on earth, Green School Valley. Green School is not only different in the way that it is built out of bamboo, but also in the way that it teaches. We are taught to become leaders of today, something a normal textbook cannot match. One day, we had a lesson in class where we learned about significant people, like Nelson Mandela, Lady Diana, and Mahatma Gandhi. Working harder today, we agreed that we also wanted to be significant. Why should we wait until we were grown up to be significant? We wanted to do something now. Sitting on the sofa that night, we brainstormed and thought of all the issues facing Bali. And one thing that stood out to us the most was the plastic garbage. But that is a huge problem. So we looked into what was a realistic target for us kids: plastic bags. And the idea was born. We started researching, and let's just say the more we learned, there was nothing good about plastic bags. And you know what? We don't even need them. We were really inspired by the efforts to say no to plastic bags in many other places. From Hawaii to Rwanda and to several cities like Oakland and Dublin. And so the idea turned into the launch of Bye Plastic Bags. In the years that we have been campaigning, we have learned a lot. Lesson number 1, you cannot do it all by yourself. You need a big team of like-minded kids, and so we formed the Bye Plastic Bags crew. The volunteer team includes children from all over the island, from both international and local schools. And together with them, we started a multi-layered approach based on an on- and offline signature petition, educational and inspirational presentations at schools. We raise general awareness at markets, festivals, beach cleanups, and last but not least, we distribute alternative bags. Bags like net bags, recycled newspaper bags, or 100% organic material bags, all made by local initiatives on the island.
We run a pilot village home of 800 families. The village mayor was our first friend, and he loved our t-shirts, so that helped. We focused on making the customers aware, because that's where the change needs to happen. The village is already 2/3 along the way of becoming plastic bag free. Our first attempts to get the government of Bali on board failed. So we thought, a petition with 1 million signatures, they can't ignore us, right?
Right.
But who would have guessed 1 million signatures is like 1,000 times 1,000? We got stuck. Till we learned lesson number 2. Think outside the box. Someone mentioned that the Bali airport handles 16 million arrivals and departures a year.
But how do we get into the airport? And here comes lesson number 3, persistence. Off we headed to the airport. We got past the janitor, and then it was his boss's boss, and then the assistant office manager, and then the office manager, and then we got shuffled down 2 levels and thought, well, here comes the janitor again. And after several days knocking on doors and just being kids on a mission, we finally got to the commercial manager of Bali airports. And we gave him the plastic bag speech, and being a very nice man, he said, "I cannot believe what I'm about to say, but I'm going to give you authorization to collect signatures behind customs and immigration."
We got almost 1,000 signatures. How cool is that? Lesson number 4. You need champions at all levels of society. From students to commercial managers to famous people. And thanks to the attraction of Green School, we had access to a steady stream of celebrities. Ban Ki-moon taught us that Secretary Generals of the United Nations don't sign petitions. He risked his off nicely, but he promised to spread the word, and now we work closely with the United Nations.
Jane Goodall taught us the power of a people's network. She started with just one Roots and Shoots group, and now she has 4,000 groups around the world. We are one of them. She's a real inspiration. If you're a fellow Rotarian, nice to meet you. We're Interactors, the youngest department of Rotary International.
But we've also learned much about patience,
how to deal with frustrations,
leadership,
teamwork,
friendship.
We learned more about the Balinese and their culture.
And we learned about the importance of commitment.
It's not always easy. Sometimes it does get a little bit hard to walk your talk.
But last year, we did exactly that. We went to India to give a talk, and our parents took us to visit the former private house of Mahatma Gandhi. We learned about the power of hunger strikes he did to reach his goals. Yes, by the end of the tour, when we met our parents again, we both made a decision and said we're going on a hunger strike.
And you can probably imagine their faces. It took a lot of convincing, and not only to our parents, but to our friends and to our teachers as well. Isabel and I were serious about doing this. So we met with a nutritionist, and we came up with a compromise of not eating from sunrise to sunset every day until the governor of Bali would agree to meet with us to talk about how to stop plastic bags on Bali.
Our Mola Makan, as it is called
being all supportive and thankful for our willingness to care for the beauty and the environment of Bali. He signed a promise to help the people of Bali say no to plastic bags, and we are now friends, and on a regular basis, we remind him and his team of the promises he has made. And indeed, recently he stated and committed that Bali will be plastic bag free by 2018.
Also, at the International Airport of Bali, one of our supporters are planning to start a plastic bag free policy by 2016. Stop handing out free plastic bags and bring in your own reusable bag is our next message to change that mindset of the public.
Our short-term campaign, One Island, One Voice, is all about this. We check and recognize the shops and restaurants that have declared themselves a plastic bag-free zone, and we put this sticker at their entrance and publish their names on social media and some important magazines on Bali. And conversely, that highlights those who do not have the sticker. So, why are we actually telling you all of this? Well, partly it is because we are proud of the results that together with our team we have been able to reach, but also because along the way, we have learned that kids can do things. We can make things happen. Isabel and I were only 10 and 12 years old when we started this. We never had a business plan, nor a fixed strategy, nor any hidden agendas. Just the idea in front of us and a group of friends working with us. All we wanted to do was stop those plastic bags from wrapping and suffocating our beautiful home. Kids have a boundless energy and a motivation to be the change the world needs.
So to all the kids of this beautiful but challenging world, go for it. Make that difference. We're not telling you it's going to be easy. We're telling you it's going to be worth it. Us kids may only be 25% of the world's population, but we are 100% of the future.
We still have a lot of work to do, but know that we will not stop until the first question asked when arriving at the Bali airports will be, "Welcome to Bali. Do you have any plastic bags to declare?"
Okay, so welcome back to the floor. Lessons. Did you learn anything from the story of those two girls? About change, about impact, about doing something different. They mentioned some 4 key things. Did you take note of the 4 things they mentioned?
My name is Babas Sama. What I could pick from it is that there must be teamwork, partnership, if to achieve a goal. And also one must reason or think outside the box. First, someone can do or achieve a goal. Thirdly, someone needs assistance from champions in a field, and someone must be persistent in anything.
So, Sam, do you have any idea of the process of do you have any do you have anything in mind, any idea you want to see, you want to back, and any change you want to see happen in your environment or in the country? Do you have any? Will you answer any of the goals? Not yet. Which of the goals fascinates you? Which of the goals catches your attention? Goal 2. Goal 3. What is goal 3 again? Good else and well. To be able to achieve that, to be able to work around it, you need to come up with an idea, and then you need to stick to those things in the end of the video. To think outside the box, work on partnership, manage relationship, collaboration, and all of those things to make it work. Any other person? Thank you. Give him a round of applause. All of you, let's interact with the lady. Beautiful ladies there. Why are you not talking? Anybody?
My name is Aisha from Makeri University. The two ladies that came to our because they are focused on determined. Yes, they are focused on determined. And what I also learned about them is that partnership is good. The partnership makes them to easily achieve their goals.
Because they have to come together. You think you can achieve anything in isolation, you are wrong. We need to come together. There is power in partnership. There is power when we come together to achieve something, to get your ideas executed. One reaches 1,000, two reaches tens of thousands. You know, two good heads, they say it's better than, two good heads are better than one, right? So for you to be able to achieve something, you need to come together with like-minded people. You need to be able to work with people that believe in your idea, that want to achieve or see that the thing you have in mind is possible. There is possibility in the thing that you really love to achieve, you know? Until that is done, your idea might not still remain a mere idea. Any other person? I'll come back.
I learned that in any society or any level I find myself, I must make a difference.
Okay.
And also, when you are trying to achieve a goal, you must be persistent because nothing comes easy.
Okay. Persistence. You see that the two guys were ready to go on hunger strike. They actually went on hunger strike just to get the attention of one person. Change anywhere is not easy, especially when you are trying to do something that is against the norm. Especially when you are trying to do something or take people out of what they feel they are already used to. Something that they feel that this is what I'm accustomed to. Why should you change me? You see, for many years now, the government have been trying to take people away from the streets, selling, street sellers, but because they feel this is the normal thing, this is what we are used to. Nobody should come and then take us away just like that, you know. So, if you want to create change in that area, you need to be determined. You need to go against so many people. You need to be able to step on people's toes. You need to be able to just push through whatever challenges, whatever difficulty that may come your way. No change, nowhere is easy. It's all boils down to you being determined, you being persistent, and you being ready to give it all it takes to be able to achieve it. Why I played that video was just to make you see that change is possible. And if you look around, there are so many things you can do to create change. If you look in your school, there are so many things you can do to create change. The change about managing this can even start in your school. Why not push it to the school management? Tell them that henceforth you don't want to see unnecessary nylon bags. Or if you want to hold them responsible and ask how they manage your exam scripts. What is done with the exam scripts? Is it that it is burnt? Is it that it's given away to sellers of fries around the road? Or it is recycled? Are they doing the right thing with it? You can just pick up anything and look at how your change, how your inputs can create a lasting change, can create a permanent change, a transgenerational change that will make the world a better place. I started off with the video that shows us how devastating and how much destruction the world is facing due to human activities, due to human interaction. And for us to be able to do that, we need to be like those two Barbie girls, think outside the box, look at what we can do to create change, and then give it all it takes, go for it, and achieve it. So now I would like to end it now, but I won't end without saying that waste can be reduced, waste can be recycled, waste can be reused. It's left you to think of how you can come in, what role you can play in ensuring that waste is not ending as something that is spread out, waste is being well managed, and waste being minimized to the various level. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you should successful celebration going forward.